and welcome to This is USG, a video podcast by the universities at Shady Grove. 9 universities, 1 campus, great results. I'm Ann Kademian, Executive Director of USG. When you think of a Hall of Fame in a sporting sense, you're talking about the best of the best athletes in the game. In business, it's no different. There are always CEOs, entrepreneurs, and other business executives of organizations large and small who distinguish themselves as leaders in their field and in the communities that they serve. The Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame, now in its 10th year, celebrates individuals who have made a significant impact on the Montgomery County business community. And throughout the years, the Hall of Fame has helped to raise more than 1.2 million in scholarships for students who attend the universities at Shady Grove. Joining me today is the Hall of Fame chairman and co-founder, Larry Rosenblum, advisor and former partner of Grossberg Company, LLP, one of the Washington, D.C. area premier providers of accounting, tax, and business consulting services. Larry, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you
Actually,
here.
I'm here. You're there.
But connected virtually.
Yes.
Sophia Parker is a Hall of Fame inductee and the Chief Executive Officer of DS Federal Incorporated. Sophia, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And Jeffany Rantang is a former recipient of Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame Scholarship and a business analyst for Freddie Mac. Jeffany, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you all here. I'm going to start with Larry, and Larry, ask you to give a little bit of a self-introduction, especially as your journey relates to creating the Hall of Fame. Tell us a bit about yourself and how the vision arose for creating the Hall of Fame.
Well, good. Okay. In December last year, I gave up my partnership interest at Grossberg Company and got rid of a lot of headaches by doing that. But I'm a consultant for the firm working part-time. I've been in public accounting for 45 years. I started when I was 12 and been very active in the Montgomery County business community at lots of different levels. In the 90s, I was chairing the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce and lots of other things. Well, I was on the founding board of Monument Bank about 15 years ago. And I had a discussion with H.L. Ward, who was the president and CEO of Monument, which was a community bank that we started, which became part of Revere Bank, and then last year became part of Sandy Spring Bank. So we talked about doing something to honor the business titans in Montgomery County, not just the ones that are made a lot of money, very rich, but it's a cross section of business individuals who have made an impact, started a business, built a business, grew a business, but correspondingly, people that have done a lot to enhance the residents of Montgomery County in lots of different levels. And we said, you know, we need to honor them. We need to have an organization that we could create that would really focus on them each year and have an event. Yeah. And we decided to use that opportunity to raise money for charity. And it didn't take us long to decide to make the charity Universities at Shady Grove. We said, you know, this is a low profile organization, needs some stimulus, needs some recognition, needs some visibility. So I talked to my friend Joe Vavona, one of the vice chairs of the Board of Regents, and he connected us with the right people. And about 10 years ago, we got this off the ground. And I hate to correct you, but I'm an accountant and it's numbers. We've raised over 1.3 million.
Okay.
In our time. Right. And one of the special parts of that, and I think this is one of the differences, last year we didn't have the event because of COVID, but we reached out to prior honorees, prior sponsors, supporters. And without an event, we raised $75,000 for the scholarship fund, which brought us again to over 1.3 million.
Awesome.
And excuse me, this is money that goes directly to the scholarship fund. And we decided early on, we don't know much about these students. We're not in a position to make those decisions. So USG has free reign on how to spend that money on students. And I think it's worked out well for everybody. So we have about 40 people, business leaders in the Hall of Fame, really reflecting the diverse complexion of Montgomery County and the Montgomery County business community. Big businesses, Bill Marriott, little businesses, Mark Chow, who owns Mark's restaurant in Tacoma Park, that have done different things to help their community and have, really instilled the entrepreneurial spirit in this region. And one of the reasons that we've done this is, we're business people. We're big on investment. There's no better investment than education. And this may sound self-serving, it probably is, but we need an educated workforce. How best to do that by investing in USG to help to create this workforce, because they're sorely needed. So at every level, this has just been very successful, working well. We have 400 people, a sellout crowd each year. And I invite people to come to our event, October 26th, 11 a.m. We're done sharply at 1:15. We don't fool around. And invite you to get more history to visit our website, mcbushalloffame.com, which is Montgomery County Biz Hall of Fame. So that's it for me.
Fantastic. That's terrific. I love the emphasis on what people have done for the community and recognizing their contributions to the community. That's so important. And sorry for the numbers error, and thank you for
That's all right. That's my job. That's what I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Sophia, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience as an inductee. What did it feel like to be chosen, and what's the significance of being chosen for the Hall of Fame for you as a business owner?
When I was told about this honor, I was very surprised. But throughout the event, I understood the impact, not just on me, my company, but my whole community. I did not pay too much attention to USG until after the event. I saw the building coming up, driving down on Route 28. But once I was a part of this community, I started to pay more attention to USG. We had been paying more attention to hiring students from USG, donating to USG, and really be a part of this community. I came to Montgomery County because of its superb education, right? We moved here so that my children could get better education. We had our company started here because we can attract better talent here. So to be more involved with USG, even through the Business Hall of Fame, is just amazing. Through the organization, I was able to network and get to know folks who are really making a contribution to our county. It is giving me a brand new appreciation about our county and what we can do for our county.
Yeah, that's terrific. It's exciting to know of your awareness now of USG as well, and that strong partnership that's there. That's another key aspect, I think, of this Business Hall of Fame. It's not only extremely generous fundraising for scholarships, but building this stronger and stronger community with the inductees and others as well. So that's fantastic.
Can I add something?
Please.
Each year when we decide on our honorees, we take them out, a few of us out for lunch, and let them know, what's going on. And Sophia has the distinction of the first person that cried when we told her about it, which made all of us cry. So it really we think is a meaningful honor. It's not just one of those, a one and done, never hear from them again. This is a group that we keep together. Past honorees come to our event, and we have a dinner that thankfully USG sponsors to get the honorees to know each other and to help them understand that, again, this isn't a one and done. Once they're in, and we expect them to help us raise money, raise awareness, and promote this event to be successful and ultimately to provide more scholarships. And they've done it. It's a close-knit group. It's an elite group, and they take it very seriously. This isn't just a ceremonial honor. This is real.
Right.
Yeah, that's terrific. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing your story as well. And thank you, Larry, for sharing more of that background and the motivation of the dinner too. Jeffany, you were a recipient of one of these amazing scholarships. Can you tell us a little bit about the scholarship itself and how it helped you with your career? What was the impact of the scholarship on you?
Sure. I have to think back now, which is the wonderful part of this, right? It's amazing for me to, first of all, just be here, on this podcast and, having this discussion with everybody at the table. But just to say, in that moment, 2 years ago, right, when I was in school, little did I know, right, that, this would be my future. I would be, considered successful. I still don't. I still don't think of it that way. But, just thinking about how my career took off, having not just a job, but a place where I can develop my career, grow as a person. But all of that beyond business school, right? And to answer your question, and I have to think about, at that moment, I was just trying to survive. I'm going to be real, right? I was trying to survive, 6, 7 jobs, and I was trying to survive, the grueling schedule and just keeping up with everything so that I could survive school, business school, and, the rigor of that, because it's not just any major, and it's not just any school, but it was business school. And I really thought, I want to pursue a career in business, but I'm going to have to get through these next few years, with the job I was juggling. And, notice that I never mentioned school. School was the best part, right? That part I didn't have to survive. I thrived in that. I enjoyed, and I really looked forward to finishing my catnap in the car so I could go to, supply chain and logistics or, global strategy, right? So at the time, one of the struggles and one of the things that really made me think of the word, again, survive, is finances. Finances were tight. That is why I had, multiple jobs, 4, 5, 6, 7, literally. I can tell you all about it if you'd like, but I didn't, have, how do I say this? I didn't have confidence, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, in knowing that I would get through another semester, not because of the schedule. Like, the schedule is no problem. 5, 6 jobs, no problem. Again, global strategy, supply chain and logistics, no problem. But making sure I had enough money to actually pay my tuition and go to the next semester, I don't know, right? That was the struggle, and that was the thing that I had to think about in order to survive. Was I going to take another job? Was I going to have to, move around my schedule, or was I going to have to not pay some bill or something? And so, needless to say, the scholarship was something that I didn't really see coming, right? Because all I could do was apply to as many scholarships as I could, to as many, different types of financial aid, but, with the caveat that I can't apply to federal aid or I can't apply to state-sponsored aid, and that's because of my immigration status. And I know that that was not a lone struggle. A lot of my peers also had a lot of limitations and challenges in obtaining other forms of aid besides private scholarships. And so the Business Hall of Fame scholarship was one of those scholarships that I just thought, well, let me just put in my application. I'm going to do my best, and I really hope I get something, and not think anything of it, right? Not really expecting that, and just hoping. But then forgetting about that, after, going through my schedule, and then realizing that, one particular night I was in the car, I was about to go home. I just finished studying. It was around 1 a.m. And I remember I loved having the late night study hours at the USG library, which is awesome, right? Who knew you could party with your books that late at night? So that was awesome for me. But getting off work and being able to do that and just sitting down and studying and doing all my work. So I was getting ready to go home in the car, and suddenly I felt overwhelmed, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I can't even think about anything but this test that's coming up, but trying to make sure I get maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And so I started to, feel a little bit depressed, and I started thinking, what if I don't graduate? What if I don't have enough money this semester? What if I can't save up enough from these jobs, aside from supporting my family and other things? And so I just had a weird feeling of a voice kind of telling me, this is going to sound crazy, but telling me to just check my phone. And I did. So I checked my phone, checked my email, and there it was. I saw an email from the Business Hall of Fame scholarship, and it said, congratulations, you have a scholarship awarded to you. And I'm not going to cry right now, but I cried, right? In that moment, I just thought, wow, when you're really down in the dumps and you're starting to wonder, am I going to graduate? Am I even going to get a job, a career? And in that moment, you realize that, it's not just the money coming through. It's realizing that, wow, there's a whole community of people. I'm sure I'm a business student, right? So I think about who's funding this, who are the people, in this organization. But naturally, as I started thinking about that, I realized, oh my gosh, there's a huge community behind this. And they're sending me money so that I can not have to get another job or struggle. So that is the impact. And that's the impact of the scholarship on me at the time when I was a student.
What an amazing story. What perseverance, Stephanie. And what really stands out for me in your story is how excited you were about being a business student, and how, going to supply chain class, going to,
I'm so nerd.
yeah, it's wonderful. And how cool that your scholarship came from the business community that you have been, that you're working so hard to be a part of. And so, what great perseverance, and what an accomplishment. That's an amazing story. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you so much. Larry, you mentioned that we came out of COVID. The Hall of Fame was, you didn't hold, but still you raised over $75,000.
Not me, we. Yes.
The team did.
Mhm.
And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about the impact of COVID on the Hall of Fame. Has that time, have you had to rethink some of the things that you do with the Hall of Fame? Has it lifted up certain kinds of strengths and business heroes that you might not have recognized otherwise? How has COVID impacted the Hall of Fame in whatever direction you want to take it?
Well, obviously it's impacted everybody. But we had decided last year that we didn't want a virtual Hall of Fame event, that we felt that it was a disservice to our honorees to not allow them to have the face-to-face, in-person accolades thrown at them, to have their colleagues and friends and family congratulate them. We said, you know what, we're going to skip the year and hope things get better. But in the meantime, the need hadn't changed. And like I said, we reached out to everybody that was involved in prior years, and they were very generous. 75,000, we raise a net of between 150 and 200,000 a year. So to get to half that without an event, I think that's just a credit to what we've created. And I'm hoping that this year, we jump out and don't skip a beat, and we're as successful as we had in prior years. We've established ourselves. This event is the business go-to event. And I would say it is the premier go-to event every year. We sell out 400 people. That's just not something that happens by accident.
Yeah.
And we have a very, very hardworking committee that is very dedicated, and we each have our responsibilities and reach out and do our jobs. And one of my former partners at Grossberg replaced me as the Grossberg representative. I mean, I'm still the chair and co-founder of this event. And he had never obviously been to one of our committee events. The first committee event, he came back and shook his head. He said, I never knew that you guys did so much. And I've never been in a meeting where people are so dedicated and committed to something where everybody steps up, everybody has their roles, and, you know, really to make sure we have a very positive outcome. That was great to hear.
That's awesome. So can you share with us a few of the details? Like what might we see at the dinner coming up this year?
Well, we have Jeff Galvin, who's with American Gene, hold on a second, Technologies, it kind of rolls off the tongue, as our featured speaker. Mm-hmm. This year, we have 4 honorees. Gordon Barnaby, who's an 8A contractor from Jamaica, I believe. We have Sunny Bajaj, who's another techie that came as a child from India. We have Chef Yeppe from Silver Diner. And we have Marilyn Balcom, who came from the United States. She's, I think, the only non-immigrant this year. It's a great cross-section again, and it's a strong group. They're wonderful people. And in fact, some of them even contributed last year when we had to cancel the event. So we're excited about this year's event. We're excited about the speakers. And, you know, we're excited just to, as people are starting to find out now, just being face-to-face in general is exciting because we haven't done it in a long time. So this will be a fun event. We're really looking forward to it.
It sounds terrific, Larry. Absolutely terrific. We're looking forward to it as well. So, well, Sophia, as a business owner, you know, you now an inductee into the Hall of Fame. Tell us a little bit about the importance of the connection between the business community and education. Larry queued some of this up, talking about the importance for talent development. But share with us a little bit of your perspective on this. This is a great relationship between a strong educational institution and the business community. Reflect a little bit for us on the importance of that.
Our company focuses on federal contracting. And people, we are really in people business. Without qualified people, we would not be able to perform our obligations. And Montgomery County is a county where, you know, all the talents lies, and especially USG, the the specialties. We always come here for talents. You know, cybersecurity, IT, program management, and our first priority is hire students from USG, and then from University of Maryland, Montgomery College. We have an obligation to support our county, and being here to stay in Montgomery County is because of the talent pool, right? And being inducted, now that I'm inducted in the Hall of Fame, I feel a stronger obligation to pay back to my county. So we actually encourage our hiring managers to seek out residents and then students, and we also have internship giving out to students from Montgomery County. So this Hall of Fame experience just opened up my eyes of the obligations and about the business community as a whole towards our county, because especially for small business, our economy depends on small business. So I hope that other companies will also move back from Virginia and DC and come back to Montgomery County, because this is the best county in America.
There's something else. We hear at every event, people come up to us and say, I never knew this was here. Oh my God, this is great. And unfortunately, USG is still one of the best kept secrets in Montgomery County. And I'm a big hands-on person. want to drag them in and let them see the facility, because seeing is believing. And you get them in the door, they're hooked. And we take them to the ballroom around the corner from the ballroom and show them the Hall of Fame. There's a hallway prominently located where the plaques, pictures of all the 40 honorees are housed. It shows, again, the breadth, the diversity of our business community and of our leaders. And that same hall is duplicated at the County Conference Center. Same thing, where people can see these are the titans. These are the ones that have made a huge difference. And I guess in, I don't know how many years, when it's time, when our scholarship awardees have gone through, different levels in the business community, it would be ideal for an honoree to come in sometime in the future who was a scholarship recipient. I mean, that would be full circle, that they've gone that far in the business community to come in and become part of this. That's our goal someday.
Well, maybe that will be Jeffany.
Maybe.
And what I hear in this great conversation across all of you is there's, from a business perspective, you want to have a good educational system for your kids or your family to have a good education. You want strong talent in your business, so you want a strong talent pipeline. But there's also this wonderful connection to just being part of a community that is supportive and seeing yourself at that level. And then this great closing the loop that Larry has brought in, which is someone receiving one of these scholarships, coming back and being an award winner and a leader as well. So these multiple layers of richness that are important in this relationship is really exciting. Well, Jeffany, you've been in your career now with Freddie Mac, I think, for a couple of years, and you joked a little bit about being successful, but pretty darn successful, and it's a great path that you're on. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what your career path has been like, and have you been able to take advantage of the network of people that you've met through the Hall of Fame and others to really kind of expand and grow your career? We all only grow through mentors and through these kinds of partnerships. Can you talk a little bit about that path, and if you've had some mentors or some network support along the way?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I joke about the whole successful thing, but if you look at the numbers, I guess, or if you look at the quantitative data, I guess I would be considered successful, and I would think of myself that way because I do keep getting promoted every year. So I guess that's a good thing. I'm not going to complain. But yeah, I mean, jokes aside, it's, I recognize that each year when I do get, promoted in my responsibilities, or promoted or noticed, or, honored in my team for doing certain kinds of work or certain kinds of projects, it all boils down to the connections, and the mentorship, as you mentioned, Anne, and as everybody else mentioned. You can be the smartest person in the room. You can be the smartest analyst, in their program. You can be the smartest student, right? But if you can't make and understand the connections between not just concepts or things that you're learning on the job or things that you're learning in school, but people, right? We're all interconnected. We're working and we're trying to achieve a common goal, whether that's a certain thing in a project or a certain thing in a team, but it's all related to other people, right? Otherwise, there wouldn't be a company. It'd just be yourself, right? And even people who are leading companies, like entrepreneurs, right? Or CEOs or directors or managers, or, chefs even, you're still working in a team. So regardless, it's all about the connections. So I can't, stress even more how critical the roles of mentors and people who have supported me or reached out, or allowed me to reach out and become an ally, or become an advocate, or become somebody who just wants to teach me a shortcut in Excel, right? Or, another perfect example is somebody who thought of my, grueling academic career at USG and thought I might be a good person to speak with, the Business Hall of Fame, right, for their luncheon. Little things like that turn into bigger things, right? It's all the connections. And I also think that career-wise, it's not just, am I getting promoted in my job, or am I, getting progressively more responsibilities? I think a rewarding career, or as I've seen and experienced, thankfully, is expanding my circles. And what I mean by that is, am I being a mentor to somebody else right now? Right? Can I do that? Absolutely. Right. And I enjoy that. That's when I can nerd out, right? And tell them, hey, I made this mistake, or I learned about this, and here's a shortcut, right? Oh, and you should talk to this person because this person is doing this career path that you might be interested in. It's all about the connections again and again. And again, another perfect example is when I had the opportunity to be a speaker at the Business Hall of Fame luncheon. I can't tell you how many people I not just connected with, but reconnected with. And one great example of that was I reconnected with an old mentor of mine, someone who I hadn't really kept in touch with through the years, Linda Youngentob from College Tracks and Future Links, right? And I didn't know she was, involved in College Tracks, actually. I thought she was just FutureLink. But that connection rekindled, and we talked a lot. And then I ended up being invited to be a board member at College Tracks. So again, when I think of those moments where, I'm reconnecting with somebody, or I'm getting an opportunity to do something, it's all connected. I can't stop using the word, but now you've got me on a roll. So yeah, I think that's really been the most rewarding part of this.
Yeah.
Understanding.
You're modeling exactly, I think, the vision that Larry and Sophia and others in the hall, aspire to, right? Which is this, not only the impact of this on your career and your ability to succeed, but to become part of this community, to become connected, and to become a leader yourself and support others along the way. So that's wonderful, Jeffany. That's great. Well, Larry, I'm going to ask you to share a few closing thoughts. What's next for the Business Hall of Fame as you look into the next 5 or 10 years down the road? What do you see? Continued growth. Do you have a vision for what might be coming next, or how are you thinking about the future?
Each year we try to make the event fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Each year we tend to add committee members, or cycle some out and bring some new ones in. We look at our farm team. We have a pretty long list of honorees in waiting. There's no shortage of the people that fit the profile that we look for in the Hall of Fame. And, again, I can't help but be an accountant. It's all about the numbers. So whatever we can do to maximize the numbers, to bring in more scholarship money, to raise more funds. I mean, that's part and parcel to what we do. I mean, obviously, the prime purpose is to honor the leaders in the business community. And almost at a co-equal position, not as an afterthought, is, again, this whole concept of investing in education, investing in and an investment where we can see the fruits of our labors right away, to where you guys are churning out some top talent that we go after to support our businesses. So it's very mutually beneficial, and we're not going to change just for the sake of change. We tinker with our event. We tinker with some of the different aspects of it. But what we do is, what we're doing is working well. We can always improve, and we're always looking for ways to improve. That's our long-term vision. Keep it going, keep adding to it, keep these people active and engaged to help us be more successful.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank all of you for your time tonight. The time has flown by, but it's been delightful. And I really feel I've learned a lot, and our listeners have learned a lot about the vision of this wonderful event. And we've seen through the experience of Sophia and also Jeffany, the impact of this event on business owners and on, professionals and entrepreneurs. So and the community and the students who benefit directly. So thank you all so much. Remember, you can.
One more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Please visit our website, mcbushallofffame.com, and come to our event, October 26th. Goes from 11 to 1:15. Come, it's fun. It's very personal. It's very rewarding. Be part of it because it's engaging, and it's not another one of those boring business events, blah blah blah. It's fun and it's exciting, and you're guaranteed to have a good time. And again, look at our website. There's lots of sponsorship opportunities, and we encourage you to get involved. Reach out to us with questions or ideas or suggestions. But come, seeing is believing. Come and join us.
Larry, anything that you are leading with your team is going to be spectacular.
Well, thank you.
I know it's going to be great. And thanks for sharing the address and the details. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.